Good afternoon, groovy citizens, and happy, fantastic Friday. Listen, I hope you all have had a wonderful week. My week has been busy, but it's been wonderful nonetheless. And before I go into today's topic, I just want to let you know that I am working on a current book with a friend of mine, and I'm not going to tell you the name of it just yet, but as of today I am up to chapter 14. I'm sorry. So when I finish this video, as it's uploading, I'm going to get me a snack, and then I'm going to get back to my typing so that I get chapter 14 done and submitted and get on to chapter 15 tomorrow, because we're trying to get this book done in the next couple of weeks, and I think we can do that. So having said all of that, let's jump right on into today's topic, which is how to break generational curses. And it's so interesting that I actually had chosen this topic, I should say, on yesterday, but today I had a conversation with a friend of mine, and we were talking about why women stay in relationships where they are being physically and mentally abused. And I was just explaining how a lot of times that's a generational thing. A lot of those women have low self-esteem, and there are men that prey on that. There are women that have children and they think nobody else is going to want them. They are women who that's all they know. They watch their moms grow up being abused. They watch the grandmother, aunties, and cousins and neighbors and so forth and so on. And in their minds, that's just the way life is supposed to be. And we all know that it should not be that way. Because me personally, you start to raise your hands, we're going to have a problem. No, correction. You are going to have a problem, not me. You will have the problem, because I refuse to deal with it. I know that I deserve better than that, and I will not allow any man to disrespect me or harm me in any way, shape, or form. Let me just put it that way, but I digress. So we're talking about breaking generational curses. And I said, in order to break generational curses, you must be willing to rewrite your story. And let me just, because that's a shouting moment right there. In order to break generational curses, you must, I didn't say you should or you might want to. I said you must be willing to rewrite your story. I get it. As I talked about before I got into the topic about how you have women who deal with being in relationships where they're being abused, either physically, mentally, or a combination of the both. It's a generational curse, because it's what they've seen happen to the other women in their families, and their minds tells them that a man doesn't love you if he's not putting his hands on you. Well, I beg to differ. Show me you love me in another way. I wouldn't care if you bought me French fries or a Happy Meal couple of times a week to show me that you love me. Don't put your hands on me, because that's not showing me that you love me. That shows me that you have no respect for me. That shows me that you don't love me, that you don't care about me, and anything else that you can think of. That's not love right there. Love is not me putting my hands on you. I'm sorry, but I digress. And you can't change the past, but with intentional, consistent actions, you have the power to influence your future generations. Okay, so to break generational curses means to end toxic patterns that I don't know what I was supposed to be writing here. That's something your family history. Oh, that have been in your family history. It means to break away from negative expectations assigned to you. Ending family generational curses means taking the steps necessary to address the past trauma. So here's how some ways that you can break generational curses. But before I go into that, let me go back to this, where I talked about ending family generational curses means taking the steps necessary to address past trauma. You know, too often when I say we, I mean people in general, because it's not just a man thing, it's not just a woman thing, but we as a people, we tend to not want to talk about past traumas, because in our minds, if we talk about it, we keep reliving it, and we can't let it go if we keep talking about it. Well, the problem really is that when you don't talk about those past hurts and past harmful situations, they don't leave. You just don't talk about them. Because even though it doesn't come out of your mouth, it lives up here. It lives in here. So just know that just because you don't talk about something, that doesn't mean it goes away. It just means you're not talking about it. So number one, I have 6 things for you that I'm going to let you be. Number one, admit there is a problem. Now remember, we're talking about how to break generational curses. Number one, admit that there's a problem. In order to end generational curses, you must admit there is a problem. Once you own it, you must be willing to change. Being in denial won't serve any purpose for you. You must be honest with yourself in order to improve. And that right there is really just sums it all up. If you are not willing to admit that there is a generational curse, and if you're not willing to change, then you're just wasting your time. I mean, you are. You have to be, once you know, but you know that old saying, when you know better, you do better. Well, that's what this is. When you know that that's a generational curse and you know that you need to let it go, you've got to let it go, sweetie, because if you don't, it will be with you forever and you will never become a better person. Number 2, seek professional help. You may not be able to do this alone, so don't be afraid to seek professional help. Getting professional help lets you address generational trauma to avoid passing it along. You know, I've said this before, we live in a society where people think that if you go and get help from a psychologist or a psychiatrist and you're a loon, you're a kook, or whatever the case may be, and that's not true. What you're saying is that I can't handle this on my own, so I need someone that can help me because I've gone as far as I can, but I need someone with the proper training to help me get over the hump, if you will. And so I just need you all to know that it's never a problem when you want to seek professional help, and don't ever let anybody talk you out of doing that, because you should be able to seek professional help. Now, if you don't, that's on you. But I'm just saying that you should, especially if it's something that's just too big for you to handle. Number 3, change how you speak to yourself. I've talked about this before as well. You must first be your biggest fan in order to overcome your fear. Make sure you replace negative self-talk with positive words of affirmations. That goes to, remember I talked about not too long ago when I said, you know how you do something, you go, you are so stupid. I can't believe you did that. You're just dumb as hell. No, you're not. You may have done something that's stupid, or you may have done something that's dumb, but you're not stupid. So be careful how you talk to yourself. Because the other thing is, you can't talk to yourself in a negative tone and expect other people to talk positively and speak life into you when you don't do it to yourself. So you've got to change how you talk to yourself. Number 4, and all of this will be in the description box as always. Number 4, change your habits. Do your habits promote the future you want? If not, you've got work to do. Generational curses won't break themselves. Start with your environment, then the company that you keep, then find positive role models. So in other words, some of you need to truly look at the company that you keep. And I'm not talking about just folks outside of your family. I'm talking about folks within your family as well, because sometimes they're the reason why you have the problems that you have. Let's just keep it real, okay? But you've got to look at the people that you surround yourself with. Excuse me, because my sinuses are draining. So what was the question? I said, do your habits promote the future you want? Well, if you're out here on the corner, you're getting high, you're drinking, and you're selling your tail, whatever it is you're doing out on the corner, does that promote the future that you want? Now, if it does, then that's fine. If it does, then that is absolutely fine with me. If you like it, I love it. But if it doesn't, then you need to fix it. And if you had the right people around you See, with the right people around you, they're going to help you make the right decisions. I can't call you a friend and say that I love you as a child of God and watch you sit and self-destruct. I'm going to say, look, you know what? I care about you. And that thing that you're doing right there, it's causing a problem for me because it's not helping you. So I need you to cut it out, or we just can't be friends. But I'm not going to sit around and watch you self-destruct. I'm just not. Now, some people may say, hey, I'm not getting into that. That's not my business. And that's fine. But I cannot call you a friend and hang around you or allow you to hang around me. See, because what you do, if I'm not careful, eventually it'll rub off on me. That's why I'm always careful about how I carry myself when I go out in public, because people are always watching what you do. People watch who you associate with. The people watch what you say. They watch where you go. And they're going to end up doing the things that you do. If I was sitting out here making $1 million doing YouTube videos, somebody's going to say, you know what? Michelle's a millionaire. She's been doing YouTube videos. I need to do what she's doing. But chances are, if I'm standing out on the corner drinking, if that's not what they want to do, they're not going to follow suit with that, because that's not what they're interested in doing. But I digress. Number 5, be willing to let go. If you have been hurt by those closest to you, you must find a way to address it. One way to do that is to have positive intentions. You must believe that those closest to you have your best interests at heart. I just said that a few seconds ago. Sometimes the people that are closest to you will hurt you the most. And we think in our minds, oh, we've got to keep them close because they're family. Here's what I won't say. I'm not saying, I'm sorry, I'm doing my video and I just happened to look across the street. My neighbor standing with his big old belly in the window. Lord help me. I digress. I'm not saying not to love those people because they are blood relatives. I'm not saying don't love them. What I am saying is you just can't have them in your inner circle. If they're not there to help you or to speak life into you, why are they there? You can love them. Just like, I love all my neighbors because I love everybody with the love of Christ. I didn't say it was always with Michelle's love. I said it was with the love of Christ. So if I see my neighbors, I can speak, hey, how you doing? How you doing? But we don't have to break bread. We don't have to stand out in the street chit-chatting. We don't have that kind of relationship, but I'm cordial. My next door neighbors, I speak all the time. But I couldn't even tell you their names, and they couldn't tell you mine because we're not friends like that. I'm just cordial. But I said all that to say that those that are closest to you must have your best interest at heart, because if they don't, why are they there? Why are they there? It doesn't matter if it's your mama, your daddy, your sister, your brother, your cousins, your auntie, your uncle, your grandmother, your grandfather. It doesn't matter. If they don't have your best interest at heart, why are they in your inner circle? And number 6, commit to your healing journey. No matter how hard it may get, at times you must keep going until you've made the necessary changes that you want to see. You can also do this. You can do this the best. I see what I'm saying. You can do this. The best is yet to come. You've got to commit to your healing journey. I can't commit to it for you. You've got to commit to that healing journey on your own. Now I'm going to be right there with you. I'm praying for you, but I can't do it for you. You've got to commit to it. Even when it gets hard, you've got to commit to keep going with that healing journey. And you can't give up just because the process gets hard. I know it gets hard. Life gets hard, but that doesn't mean that you just give up. Well, some people do, and that's unfortunate. It's unfortunate because they end up taking their lives. But what I'm asking you to do is stick with your healing journey. Even when it gets hard, you need to have a scripture, a quote, or something that you can recite that's going to get you back on track. Life gets hard for me as well. Let's just keep it all the way real, because we all have something in our lives that we're dealing with, or we have dealt with, or you will deal with. I don't know about you all, but I know that I can call on the name of Jesus and say, all right, Lord, this is much bigger than me. You know what's going on. I need you to fix it, Lord. I need you to do this, to do that, to do the other, whatever it is. But you've got to be committed to the process. You can't say, all right, I'm committed in April, but May I'm gonna fall off. But then in June, I'm gonna get back on board. In July, I'm on board. But then August, September, October, November, I'm gonna fall off. But then in December, I'm getting back on board. No, you've got to be committed 110%. Regardless of what people say, how they feel, you've got to be committed. Let me do a quick recap, and I promise I'll let you be. Today I talked about how to break generational curses, and I gave you some steps that you can take to break those curses. Number one, I said admit that there is a problem. When you sit and tell yourself there's no problem, all you're doing is lying to yourself. You're not lying to the people around you, you're lying to you, and that's not going to help you. Number two, seek professional help. If you have done all that you can, and you find that you just cannot get over that hump, you've gotten up the hill, but you just can't get over the other side, then you may need to go seek professional help. And it's all right to do that. Don't allow anybody to tell you that it's not cool. Because I've heard people say, oh, we don't do that. Y'all know what I'm talking about. No, we do that when the need arises. Don't anybody talk you out of your healing. Number three, I said change how you speak to yourself. If you're walking around here and you're speaking negatively to yourself, that's not going to help you. It's not going to help anybody else. First of all, it's going to turn me off to hear you say that about yourself, but it's not going to help you. So you've got to learn how to speak to yourself. Speak life into yourself. Speak positively to yourself. Find you some affirmations that you can quote several times a day if you need to, but you've got to be careful how you speak to yourself. Keep telling yourself you're dumb, you're never going to achieve anything, you're never going to go anywhere, and you won't. The Bible says you have what you say, so be careful what you say. Number four, change your habits. So I asked you to ask yourself the question, do your habits promote the future that you want? And if they don't, guess what? You need to fix that. If your habits right now are not going to get you to the next level, so your habits right now are keeping you right here on this level, but if you're trying to get up here on this level, you've got to change these habits. You cannot keep the same habits thinking that you're going to go far in life, because it's just not going to work. Number five, be willing to let go. If you've been hurt by those closest to you, you must find a way to address it. And one way to do that is to have positive intentions. You must believe that those closest to you have your best interests at heart. Here's the thing. You've got to know when to let go. If I have you in my inner circle, you add no value. You are negative. You don't speak life to me. You try to tell me everything I can't do, but you never tell me anything that I can do. I need to let you go. You're in that relationship and that person can't seem to be faithful to you. They're tearing you down on the inside a little at a time. Let them go. You're in that job that has no potential to go anywhere, but probably drive you to an early grave if you're not careful. Let it go. I'm telling you, you've got to let go of things that no longer serve you, but force you to serve them. You've got to let go of things that don't have the potential to take you to the next level. Why are you wasting your time? That's what I want to know. Why are you wasting your time? Is it because you have nothing else better to do? I don't know about you all, but I have a ton of stuff that I can be doing so that I'm not going to sit and waste my time. I'm just not. And number six, commit to your healing journey. You've got to be committed to your healing journey. Again, you can't be riding a high horse this month and then you're going to take 2 months off and then you'll come back to it and then you'll come back again in 6 months and get back on the bandwagon. You're doing great for 2 months and all of a sudden you fall off. No, you've got to be committed to it. Is it going to be easy? No. But you've got to be committed to it. It's just like growing a business. You can't grow a business if out of 12 months out of the year, you only put in the time and energy for 4 months. How do you expect to grow a business? You can't. You've got to be committed to it. It's just like a relationship. If you're in a relationship and you and your significant other, you talk and you say, look, I know we've fallen off along the line, I love you, you love me, I'm committed to making this work, and let's do what we have to do. And then you come up with your plan to make that relationship work. And you stick to the plan. Because if you don't stick to the plan, guess what? You're not going to go anywhere because you're not committed to it. When people are not committed to their relationships, they fall apart. All I'm saying to you is you can't have one foot on this side of the fence and 1 foot on the other side of the fence. You've got to be committed. You've got to be all in. Listen, you guys, that's it. That's all I have. Hopefully something I said to you will resonate with you and help you to decide, you know what? It's time for me to commit, Lord have mercy, to quit the generational curses that I allow to run my life. And everybody has something that's considered a generational curse. It doesn't have to necessarily be anything evil, but it could be anything. It could be overeating. You know, that's considered a generational curse. When you look down someone's family line and everybody in their family is overweight and or obese, that's a generational curse. When you have a long line of folks that just barely made it through high school and don't want anything else other than that, that's a generational curse. When you have someone who allows others to mistreat them, that's a generational curse, especially if they have watched others in their family go through that. Oh yeah, that's a generational curse. And guess what? I want you to decide that you are going to be the one to break that curse. That's why you ever notice, and I'm gonna let you be, guys, but you ever notice how somebody somewhere always has that story that they can tell that they were the first person in their family to go to college? Do you know what that was? That was breaking a generational curse, because there was a generational curse of either not going to college at all or going to college but not finishing. Until one day somebody raised their hand and said, I'm going to do it. I'm going to be the one to break this generational curse. I'm going to finish college. And then that opened the door for others after that individual to say, you know what? If Craig can go and get his degree, I'm going to go get mine. And generations to come will think the same thing, all because one person decided to break the generational curse. Some families have a generational curse of relationships not lasting, be it marriages or otherwise. That can be a generational curse as well. And it's unfortunate, but like I said, you have to decide that you are going to be the one to break that generational curse. And it's not going to continue after you. You're going to set the example for everybody else to say, hey, if they can do it, I know daggone well I can do it. Okay? So again, that's it, you guys. If you're new to watching my video, I want to say thank you so much for joining me. I do car conversations every Monday, Wednesday. Today is Friday, and on Saturday. So make sure you come back tomorrow for another motivational topic. If this is not your first rodeo, I want to say welcome back. You guys know I love you so much, and I miss you when I don't get a chance to see you. Go out there. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. Right now it's 75 degrees. I had to turn on the AC because it was getting a little warm, but it's 75 degrees, a little kind of on the breezy side at times, but with the sun out, it does make it a little hot. So go out there, enjoy the rest of your Friday. Have an amazing weekend, and you all know, you know the drill, you know the spiel. I love you all to the moon and back, and there is nothing, and I mean absolutely nothing that you can ever do about that, because I love you all so, so much, and I want nothing but the best for you. I want you to break those generational curses, but I need you to start today. Start today to make the decision that you're going to end that curse, that it does not have to, because it's trickled down to you, doesn't have to keep going down with your children and their children and so forth and so on. So be the one that says, nope, it ends right here. You can do it. I believe you. I believe in you. I believe that you can do it. You just have to be committed. You truly have to be committed, okay? But again, go out there, enjoy the rest of your day. Have a great weekend, and whatever you do, y'all know the drill. Please be safe. Go out there and please, please, please be safe. It bothers me, excuse me, when I turn on the news and I hear about someone has gotten shot or robbed or whatever the case may be, because somebody just, was being an ass and decided to go make somebody else's day in life miserable. So please be careful about where you go. I forgot to bring my water. And as always, if you go someplace and you didn't come with people, don't you leave with them. Do not do it. Do not do it. Other than that, I love you all, and we'll talk again tomorrow.